It's really nice having you in my podcast, Claire. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. It's spring break. It's spring. It's getting started in New York, so we are very happy because always April is a bad month for us because it's always jungling between cold and rain, and I think next week we will have a beautiful sun every day. So I'm really eager to be on that really springtime with all the sakura. I don't know if you ever come in New York, but it's beautiful in spring.
Oh,
So I'm really happy.
I would love seeing that, but no, I've never been to New
Mm,
York.
okay.
But at least I talk every week to Americans or French native speakers who live
Hmm.
in US. So it's a way to it's a way to travel,
Mm,
kind of.
you're right.
So you're the co-founder of Frenchwink.com, a one-stop shop to
Hmm.
quality French products. Frenchwink is a marketplace for French brands, and it's the largest and finest curation of French products in the USA. So, am I right?
Yes,
Yeah.
perfectly right. Yeah.
Okay. We have at least one thing in common. We are both working with both American and French. But
Hmm.
before talking about your company, let's go back in time and tell me why you decided to move to New York. How did it happen?
Okay, so I fell in love like 25 years ago with a man passionate about the USA. So I knew at some point we will have to go there and check it out. I wasn't ready because I was a very mommy daddy girl and I wanted to stay. And I live in Nice. I don't know if you know Nice, but it's in the French area in south of France. And it's like the beautifulest city of the world. I think it's amazing. So I really didn't want to expatriate. But when I had my twins, I don't know what happened in my mind, but it was like I built my own nest, and I was ready to take the jump with him. So he started to find a job. So first he find a job in the men luxury. He's a stylist. So he find a job with a hairstylist, a famous hairstylist here in New York, and we moved with our 2 years old twins, and it's thanks to my struggle here when I arrived here in the USA, when I struggle to find my way, when I observe a lot of French brands having a hard time getting in any visibility or any access to the American consumers, except some very high-end and luxury brands with a lot of money, obviously. And so I started to think about a way with a sharing economy concept to create some visibility with a collective of brands. I starting to think about any idea to be able to access to big events by sharing the budget of having a booth together. And that's how the idea of Frenchwink started. And it's really when I met my co-founder Milene in like 2015, I think, that we really become a business, a real business. We started by creating concept store, pop-up stores around the USA for years. And when we opened our first real brick and mortar, our first concept store, thanks to a French restaurant in Chelsea, in New York. After 1 month before COVID hit the city, and we were forced to close the store, that we merge everything, all our energy, all of our finances into digital, And it's when we find the real business model and the real profitability and rentability of our concepts, when we created this marketplace and we reach out to other brands in the USA being froze by COVID, and that we told them we have a concept, we have a digital marketplace, we can attract consumers together, we can start to sell again and to ship to them, to Americans in love of France, to ship to them comfort food from France, a lot of products from France, because we are selling a multi-sector category of products. So, and it's when everything started, and so it was like 4 years ago now.
Yeah, it's really weird to say that, but it's like thanks to COVID, you found your business model. It's really
I think, yeah, we can summarize it like that. But the reality of behind the scenes is that we always, with Milene, so my co-founder, we always think about the e-commerce as a solution, but we didn't know how to handle it and how to prioritize it in terms of money-wise. So we always had an e-shop. Every time we did a pop-up stores, we always open an e-shop. But it's when we were forced
Mhm.
to in fact, it's, I think at that time it's our reactivity, and in 48 hours we were able to create that marketplace, to create open vendor accounts for different brands. Yeah, COVID, I think it's thanks to our reactivity to COVID that we were able to be here and still be in business today.
I get it. And you said
Mm.
concept store. Can you explain it a little bit?
Yeah, a concept store, it's like it's not one brand selling one kind of products. It's like when you enter into Frenchwink, you are like transporting to France. So it's everything in the retail design, everything is made to feel like in a French shop. So we are working on different aspects of the retail, but the music, everything surrounding you, the pace, it's different for any New York store, because here it's a jungle. So then you enter in our store, you're like feeling good and having a great time and be ready to enjoy French savoir-faire, French joie de vivre. So it's all about the concept and the idea of France here in the US. And you have different areas. You have obviously the food sector, the épicerie fine, but you have the cosmetics area, you have the kitchen and tableware area. So that's why we are talking about concepts, because it's more than just a store. And we really want to insert the digital way of our business into the store, so you know that you can find more online.
I get it. And I plan to ask you a question about the French attitude, but I think I'm gonna ask you this question right now.
Okay.
What does that mean for you to adopt the French attitude? Is it what you are describing?
In fact, it's funny because French people are always surprised that that tagline, adopt the French attitude, because for French, being French is being rude and a little bit arrogant, and a little bit obsessed about strike and a revolution, and we get it. But when we say adopt the French attitude, we are talking to our American customers, and our American customers get it right away. We are talking about our way of living, like enjoying food, enjoying time together around a table for hours and debating. We have a very different culture, and people, French enthusiasts, Francophile around the globe, uh, envious for that way of life, and envy our love for beauty, our love for in every little detail. Like we pay attention to the fabrics, we pay attention to a savoir-faire, but from a recipe, like enjoying making food. It's not the way they live, and it's okay, and it's the richness of our different cultures. But our business is to focus on spreading our French way of life, and that's what for us French attitudes is about.
Yeah, I've never been to New York, so I'm wondering what's the difference between going into a store, an American store, and going into your store? You said it's slowly, but how I can't imagine. Can you describe? Can you help me to understand it more clearly?
It's difficult because if you never enter in the New York store, it's difficult for me to, how can I explain that? Um, you are in a jungle. You are in a surrounding by a lot of noises, a lot of people. When you enter in a Sephora or in a Zara or it's the music is very loud, it's very punchy. You're in the USA. It's you don't have any time. You need to get what you want and leave. Very skew. And when you enter in our venue, we work with the owners of the place, and they own a French restaurant here in New York called Au Cabanon. And so it's all about stop stop your pace and come to enjoy your time in our little piece of France, where you can just enjoy being yourself, being with your friends, come with your mom, bring your best friends, and just have a good time. And we have people staying for hours and just enjoying shopping and having a glass of wine. And yeah, it's like we just help them pause
Hmm.
and enjoy just being alive. And it's difficult to it's very different cultures.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. And it's like it's the same people. They are still Americans, but in your store, they can slow down and take the time to enjoy being there. That's it?
Yeah, and we are doing a lot of shopping party. So I'm more talking about that actually. It's more when we are having a shopping party. We have a lot of French brands involved, and they will enjoy their time tasting good food, um, talking to brand owners if they are here, understanding the French savoir-faire behind the brands, the story behind the brands, because we have century-old brands. We have a real heritage of doing beautiful things in food, but also in cosmetic, in tableware. We have amazing brand and amazing craftsmanship. So it's more about that, taking the time to listen to a story behind a shirt or behind a cup or behind just a cookie.
Mm.
And it's just transport them to our world of history and culture.
Yeah, great. And when you moved in New York, 13 years ago, that's it, huh? 13,
13. Mm.
14, okay. Um, what challenges did you face? Did you speak English fluently? Let,
No,
let's
no.
let's talk
No.
about the language.
I,
Let's start with the language.
okay. So when I moved here, I was just counting on my years in high school, and I was not a very good student at that time in English. So I was totally mute. And I didn't open my mouth, I think, for it was very long. I'm ashamed of it now. But it was like for 2 years, I asked my husband to take my order at a restaurant. I was so ashamed on my accent. I was so ashamed of my poor vocabulary. And so I wasn't really confident in myself, and it's like I lose my confidence because I wasn't able to speak as I was able to speak. And I'm a very talkative person. I'm in PR since the beginning. I represent people for a living, and I was very popular in France. I had my events. I have a lot of I have a real community of entrepreneurs, and and for me it was like I couldn't be that person anymore
Yeah.
because I wasn't able to speak at my pace with my vibes. And so it was very, very hard, very, very hard. And all the coaching that we see online today wasn't existing at that time. 13 years ago, there was nothing.
Mm.
And in France, you learn how, I don't know if it's the same way today, but 15 or 20 years ago, we learned the the English, sorry, English from Great Britain.
Mm.
Absolutely not the English used in USA, and it's completely different.
Yeah.
And you don't use to speak in class. You don't you. It's more about writing. So I was able to write. So I wrote tons of emails, but I wasn't able to speak, and it was a real problem. And what changed, I think it's just I decided to change. And as you said at the beginning of your interview, it was about just accepting, okay, my English is not perfect, but I can make myself be understood, and I think it's the main focus, just being able to talk. And I think it was where I realized I am surrounded by people with strong accent because we are in New York, and it's the Tour de Babel. Everyone is from everywhere, so everyone has a strong accent, and it's okay, and nobody's scared. And it's when I realize when people are making me repeat myself, it's just to make sure that they understand me.
Yeah.
And it's not because they are saying, oh, you're a bad speaker, you should be ashamed of yourself. And so it was just, having a constant conversation with myself and being more gentle with myself. And, and it's when I started to speak and to introduce myself and free myself of being myself. So yeah, that's what happened at the time.
It's really important what you said. People ask me to repeat myself to be sure that they understood. Not their goal
Mm.
wasn't to make fun of you. And
No,
it's
that's
really
when you
important.
met your mind.
Yeah.
It's your ego. It's your worst enemy is your ego. So it's just this. I won this fight with myself to shut up the Claire of myself telling me bad things about me, and just becoming a pom pom girl for myself, and
Yeah.
just cheer me up and help me get through that very uncomfortable zone where you are not sure about yourself, but you have to get out there and do your things.
Yeah. And you said you were able to write, you weren't able to speak, and about your you didn't talk about your comprehension skills. Were you able to understand?
Oh, yeah, the, all the time, because actually I took a class. You just remind me of that. I took a class in Nice, like a training course. Like when we decided to move, I at that time I told Jerome, okay, I'm ready to think about the idea of moving, and like in 6 months he find a job. So it was very like he was waiting for that for so long. So I took class, and the goal of that class was to listen, with headphones, to listen to a lot of different accents. So it amazed me how it was helpful for me, because even if my husband is a really for for sure is fluent and is a real bilingual people. Even his clients cannot guess that he's French. So
Oh,
he's in that comfort zone that I am not, and I think I won't ever be, but he's in that comfort zone. And even him sometimes doesn't understand some foreign accents. And me, I always understand everything. So I think I train my brain to be able to understand people talking from different languages in English. So it helped me a lot at that time. So I never had a hard time, and I forced myself to read in English as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
So I read a lot of, but even now to just because I work with my American customers, but I work a lot with French brands willing to get into the US market. So I talk a lot in French. So I really want to maintain my level of English. So I read a lot of books written by famous entrepreneurs here in the US to get the good mindset, and
yeah.
it's very helpful.
It's so important what you just said. You immerse yourself in an English environment, so you were listening to a lot of content, you were
Mm-mm.
reading a lot, and sometimes we want to speak right away, but sometimes we shouldn't, because if we were born in a French family, if we are not born in a bilingual family, the only language we heard was French. So we have to
Mm-mm.
train our ears for many, many hours to get used to the word, to the pronunciation, to everything. And we need to listen to a lot of English content. And
Mm-mm.
obviously, we are not a child anymore. We are able to read. So even if it's really different, reading and listening, if we do this, if we do both, it's really, really powerful to make progress. And sometimes
Mm-mm.
shouldn't try to speak too soon. We need to be immersed in this English environment for a few months.
Mm-mm. Definitely. But I would say start um, to not avoid speaking,
Yeah,
because it's you if not, getting to it will be harder. So just like speak, even if it's not perfect, and by immersing yourself, it will get better every day, one day after the other. So just start.
yeah. And it's funny, I wrote a question for you, but I think I already know the answer. It was, if you could go back in time and talk to yourself when you first moved abroad, what would you say to yourself?
Oh, exactly. Yeah, just be kind, be supportive, and don't be your worst enemy, and just be yourself with fewer words, but you will get there, and you will be able to be yourself again in another language. But don't freeze yourself of being you. No, no, no. And to just bouncing back of what you were saying before, my main advice would be to for people from France, French from France, is to be aware that there is two different English. There is one from people from England, the Great Britain, and there is USA, and it's really a different pace, a different state of mind, a different structure of words and sentence, and we should be more. I don't know. Probably in France now, it's something that is integrated, but I'm not so sure, because I speak with a lot of French, and I can see that uh, it's not really can I don't know. I lost my words. Uh, it's not very conscious. I don't know how to say it in English.
French
Ils sont pas
teachers are not aware. French teachers are not
Oui,
aware
yeah, yeah, oui,
to train
yeah.
our ears
We are
for
not.
English
Mm,
from Great Britain. Yeah, British
yeah,
and US. It's completely different.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So okay, now let's share about your entrepreneur journey in the US. You
Mhm.
have a digital store and a store in New York. So you yeah. I wrote a question, but no, what order did things happen? You talked about it. So I have a question about your Millie, your best friend. What looks like to work with your best friend?
Okay, so at first we weren't best friends. We were very getting into each other, very attract to each other because we saw that there is something to create together. Our our friendship, it's funny. Our friendship was built on the creation of Frenchwink. That's that's the beauty of it. So we started as friends, obviously, because you have to love the person with who you want to build something so crazy. You cannot build such a company with someone who hasn't the same value of you, who hasn't the same um, vision. So you really need to find someone because having a business is very hard, and especially in a foreign country. So you have up, but you have a lot of downs and a lot of struggles, especially the first years. So you definitely need to have on your side someone able to be there for you in the up, but also in the downs part of the business. So, and it's truly amazing to be able to work with someone who gets you that well and who is able to be there no matter what. And we have this degree of connection that I didn't find anywhere. I have close friends. I have best friend for my childhood. I have close friends here in the US, but the connection that we both have is something else, and it's very precious. And I think it's the strength of our business. It's the core of our business.
I get it. And when you talk together, is it in French or in English?
No, in French, obviously. We are both French, native, French native. So it's always in French, always in French.
Okay.
Mhm.
And how did you meet?
So actually, we met because I had to move my kids from a school to another one. And Milene was a parent delegate of the new class of my twins. And it's funny because I really clearly remember that first meeting when when we were there to talk about the kids and the school, and we like in 15 minutes switch to a business rendezvous, like what are you doing here, and I share with her what I was start thinking about building, and she was like loving the idea, and her entrepreneurship journey was exceptionally fitting what I was trying to do here in the US. She lived in Asia for years, and she created concept stores over there to help local artisans to get to the European markets. So you see the connection.
That's a
So it was
coincidence.
like, what? Yeah. So it was amazing. So it was sparkling everywhere when we have this first coffee, and since then we connected like mostly every day, and it took us one entire year to find our pace to work together, to see if we were able to work together. And I think, yeah, very soon we signed our partnership agreement, and we build the Frenchwink together.
And do you find it easy to do it in the US than it would be in France to create a partnership, to create a company?
It's I People often ask me that question. It's difficult to answer very clearly because I think building a business is tough everywhere. Um, we have this American dream as French people that it's easier here. So I won't say it's easier, but I think the energy here supports you. Um, you you are here allowed to fail. Failing is the process of creating a business. You have to fail and learn and restart. I think in France you don't have yet this mindset, but it's starting to getting there. I see a lot of things amazing from France. I see a lot of, I don't know if you know Catherine Barba and her Envy School. Yeah, you know her. So she was in New York. I met her in New York actually. She lived here for a few years. So she's trying to get that vibes in France, and France need it. So it's amazing. Um, but so I would say that part is easier in the USA because you are allowed to start and fail and start again. But I think building a business on your own is harder here because you don't have the social system that you do have in France. So if you fail, and there is nobody to be there for you. You need to find of every aspect of the business by yourself. Nobody is taking your hands. There is no structure to help you. There is no. It's and it's the beauty of the USA. You are free to be you, but you are on your own. You know. So there is a price to pay your freedom.
Yeah. And what do you like the most in running your business?
But it's all about freedom, really. I really, it's all about. I decided to be on my own when I expect my twins. My because I knew that it will be a struggle the first months to handle taking care of two babies at the same time. And I wanted to be able to work. I didn't want to stop. So for me, the only way to do that was to adapt my schedule to being a mom schedule, new schedule. So it will involve working at night if I wanted to working at night. So so I decided to create my company there in France to be a freelancer in PR and building events for different clients, but on my own schedule. And so for me, it was really about the freedom of doing when I want and what I want and how I want my my mission, my passion.
Yeah, great. And can you share with me and my listeners how does it work? You talked about vendors accounts, and what does that mean?
Yeah.
How do you find French brands? Can you dive
Yeah.
a little bit into it?
Okay. So Frenchwink is like any marketplace. It's like Amazon or Etsy. All of our brands have a vendor account on Frenchwink.com, and they drop ship for us. So we have today like 80 vendors accounts. So it means that, for example, the grain, you know, the grain, the tableware, the design tableware. They have a vendor accounts on Frenchwink. So if a clients buy a set of plates from the grain, they will receive a notification and they will ship on our name to the clients. So it's like it's the concept of any marketplace, but for French brands who do not have any visibility in the US markets, we are taking care of that for them. So we are like the umbrella. Frenchwink is the umbrella of a lot of French brands wanted to test the US market with us.
Mm.
So we are becoming for them a little bit as a warehouse and a little bit of representatives to test their products here in the US. So there is two different targets we have. We have French brands being already in the US market and wanting to be part of the Frenchwink adventure, because we are, like you were saying at the beginning, we are for American people and French expatriates as well. We have the one-stop shop to get your French fix, to get your French food, your French goodies, everything French. So it's important for French brands here in the US to be part of that. And the second target is brand from France thinking about the US market and wanted to test it without spending a lot of money and without making the risk of investing a lot of money and failing, because it's a hard market and it's a completely different way of consuming. And so you have to adapt your product, you have to adapt your storytelling, you have to adapt your message. Yeah, it's really important. So we are building like an agency to help them get into the US market and test it. We build in 10 years, we build a strong database of American loving France and craving for more French products. So when you enter into Frenchwink, you are able to test to that niche your concept, your products, your services. And that's the beauty of Frenchwink today.
Does that mean if a French brand is not sure yet if it will work, they are not going to invest a lot of money before knowing if it will work? Does that mean that?
Yeah. Yeah.
If
They can test.
If nobody makes an order, they are not going to spend money, and you're not going to earn or lose money.
Oh, so you have an onboarding fee to pay Frenchwink for doing that. But instead of paying $100,000 to create a filiale or to send one of your team members to the USA to test the market, you just pay our onboarding fee. It's $1,000. So it's not much, and it's divided on a monthly basis. So you will be able to test your products to your niche for a very small amount of money. And as you said, if it doesn't work, we don't earn money, because we are paid on a commission base on sales. So we need them to be able to get there. To be able to sell. So that's why we are helping them by promoting them, by helping them to be to adapt themselves to the US market. But not all the brands are fit to do it, and that's why we have a lot of criteria to be able to enter on Frenchwink. Any brands cannot just open a vendor account with us. Milene and I are curating the products, because we have an engagement vis-a-vis of our customers. We need to ensure that the brands, it's a great brands with strong values as us, and has a chance to attract US customers.
Yeah, I get it. Mm-hmm. Oh, great. And a few weeks ago, you shared a good news, 10,000 orders. It's mind-blowing.
Yeah. Yeah. We are so proud. So so we started just during COVID. So it was like March, April. Oh yeah, so it's like 4 years ago, and we sent our 10,000th order. It was amazing, and it was we announced that we will gift that particular customer, and we were so happy that it's a very loyal customer that we have for years, and it was amazing for us that it was her, and it's an American, and believing in us since the beginning, and very kind to Million and I. So we were very happy it was her.
Okay. And are there still things from France that you miss?
Yeah, obviously, I create my business based on that. So yeah, but I'm lucky, you know, because I'm able to go to France every summer to see my family and my friends. So I think I have both. So during the year, honestly, I'm here to have my American life with my nest and building our story together here. So I don't miss France because I know that I will be there for 4 to 5 weeks to enjoy it and to enjoy every tiny details I loved about it. I love about it, but I choose to leave and I choose to have my life here for now.
Mm-mm. Great. And I read in your bio on LinkedIn, mentoring and empowering French-speaking female entrepreneurs in New York and New Jersey. So can you talk about it? What is it about?
Yeah. So it's a company that Belgium, a lady from Belgium created a few years ago. It's called She for She, and it's all about sharing, helping, empowering. And I think I started 3 years ago to mentor the entrepreneur part of the community here in the US. So we met every month. We are a group of 10 to 12 female entrepreneurs here. So from New York or New Jersey, and we met every month. I build a new thematic every month, and we work around that thematic. And the goal is to help them get more confidence and build a stronger business because of the ability to strongly believe in their capabilities. It's really about empowering them to be the 100% version of themselves. And it's all about what I learned to do for myself and that I wanted to share to my beloved French female entrepreneurs here in the USA, because it's hard to be foreign entrepreneurs in a foreign country. So we need sorority, and so it's very an important part of my life here to be able to create that collective of amazing women here in New York. And I do from time to time, not on a regular basis, but once a month, I do visio, so via Zoom, always for the same company, She for She, and it's more to connect with French French speaking female entrepreneurs around the world. So sometimes I have amazing women from Varsovie or from Barcelona or from France, and always we share our stories, and always around strong thematic to be able to empower ourselves and through co-development. I really strongly believe in co-development.
Yeah. And you speak French or English?
French.
Okay. Okay. And
Yeah, it's very important to be able to connect to each other with these roots that we all sharing.
to be 100% yourself and not struggling, looking for words
Mm-mm-mm.
to express.
Exactly.
To
Very
express.
important. Mm-mm.
I get it. And I think you enjoy spending your free time sharing the stage with your fellow partners from l'Atelier Théâtre, and you also
Oui.
work as the director of communications. Why is it called
Yeah.
L'atelier théâtre. Why the title is in French?
Because it's to promote le théâtre en français, French theater. So we are a bunch of crazy people in love with theater, and so we met once a week to produce shows in French. And so we will be showcasing two amazing plays in French in June. So with our Festival de Théâtre en Français, and it's a very amazing part of my life as well. But it's the fun part. It's like really to just, like we say in French, jouer sur scène, just about play, just about yeah. And as I really whatever I do it at 100%. So it was important for me to be able to help with my expertise in communication and PR, and so that's why now I'm directing the communication of the company. But the head of the company is Guillaume Sirvent, Robert Sirvent, and is an amazing actor and an amazing human being and director. Mm.
And how much time do you invest in this activity?
So it's once a week. So every Tuesday we are rehearsing, and for the part of the communication, it's few hours a week, and as we getting closer to the date of the show, we will be obviously dedicating more hours, but it's how it goes.
Yeah, a few days ago, I was talking to my husband. I was sharing with him my conversation with Xavier, another person I interviewed. And Xavier is a French native speaker. He lives in Florida, and he has a full-time job, and he opened a bakery. And when I talked about his story, my husband was wondering, how on earth can people manage to do so many things in the US?
Yeah, but I think our notion of time is completely different. We own our own time. So for me, and I think it's this the first thing that I talk about when I met with a new, fresh entrepreneur to be is time management. It's the strongest key that you need to own when you want to build your own business. And it's like you need to break all your thinking about time, all the codes that you were raised on. You need to break that box. And if you're really passionate about what you do, if you have very supportive partners in your life, there is no weekends. There is no, it's like whenever I need to do my things, I decide to do it. So sometimes, why are we all condemned to watch Netflix for 4 to 6 hours, sometimes every day, because there is not much to do from 8 p.m. to midnight? Uh, why? Why should you stop thinking about empowering yourself from Friday night to Sunday night? Why on earth? So it's all about your way of thinking, what you are supposed to do, and what you are strongly believe that you should do if you have the life you want to live, you know?
Yeah, I love it. Do you have a book to recommend about time
Mm.
managing, or about, yeah, it would be interesting, a book about time managing. But I plan to ask you this question to end the episode. Would you like to recommend a book
Hmm.
in English?
Uh, there is a lot of inspiring authors. Um, I would say, it's tough. You have, I think the first one is a woman called Brooke Castillo. She inspired a lot of other coach around the globe, and especially one who is very famous in France, who created Change Ma Vie. I don't know if you heard about her.
I love this
Yeah.
podcast.
Okay.
Clotilde,
So that's the first. Clotilde Dussolier. Voilà, that's the first. Then I love to hear a lot of authors, influencers. I don't know if you read the book called The One Thing.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
remember the
Gary
name. Yeah. Okay.
Keller, maybe? I'm wondering if the author, it's Gary Keller. No. Oh, something like this, but one thing, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, The One Thing. It's very important. The book from James Clear is a very a main one about atomic habits. So it's clearly about what I was just saying about breaking your molds and creating your own way and your own habits to be the person you want to be, and stop just dreaming about it. I think watching and hearing Catherine Barba, I was mentioning before. Um, she's an amazing serial entrepreneur, but very bienveillante, and she will always say her truth, but without hurting you. She's very, we need some lights in this life, and she's one of them, I think, to enlightening the way to keep being yourself, like keep enjoying life, even during struggle, and just embrace the struggle because it's a part of the journey. And I met yesterday a man, amazing Frenchman who created Stand Up for Passion. His name is Arnaud. I can after that I can give you his last name. I don't remember it right now. And he created Stand Up for Passion, and we just he was just hosting it yesterday. That's why I'm so moved about it. And it's about getting on stage, amazing people, but they are not allowed to speak about their job. They are not allowed to speak about what they are actually doing in business, even if they raised 500 millions of dollars. They are not here for that. They are here to talk about the personal journey, their struggle, their vulnerability. And it's so amazing. And we need to hear more about that because a lot of people think when they see a person succeeded, when you see someone very successful, you think, oh, they are so lucky. No. Honestly, if you read any bio of famous people, you will learn how nothing happened in one day. It's a long and hard journey to get them where they are, and 99% of all the people who are successful today, the story started like long way before the day they were on the spotlights.
And we have to enjoy the journey, because if we don't enjoy it, we can't succeed, because it takes a long time.
Exactly, nothing happens in a day. It's fantasy.
Great. I love this interview. I love talking to you. Do you want to share a last thing before the end?
So tell me more about you. What are the profile of your listeners? Like that, I can adapt my last sentence to them.
Yeah. So this podcast, French American team, is for French listeners and and English native speakers, both. And my goal is to help them to get out of their comfort zone when we talk about languages, and to listen to entrepreneurs or employees who were able to create a life they like. So it's to create French Americans, and to build relationships, to allow my listeners to be, I'm looking for a word, I can't find it. Even in French, I can find it in French.
To be fully themselves, I understand what you're saying. So my last sentence for them would be, stop dreaming about who you would like to be and start to be that person today, one little bit at a time, and just count of your self-discipline and self-determination to get there, and magically you will get there. So it's always for me fascinating to observe in all the women I support, and to see how much, when your vision is precise, when your determination is high, how much what you want is finally happening to you because of your determination. So you just need to be very focused and very self-disciplined. And if you have that key, you can open any door, really. Any door.
I'm not sure if it's correct, but it resonates a lot. I 100% agree with what you were saying. And the word I was looking for is inspired. I want listeners to be inspired by like you, like a lot of people. I think it's really great when we can hear people, when we listen to their journey, and when we can be inspired.
And on that note, and it will be my final, you should all read The Third Door. It's my last book recommendation, and it's amazing. It's a young man trying to get famous people, really famous people, in every different field, like the star system, but also the entrepreneurship world. And he wants to get what are the fil conducteur, the fil rouge, what is the link between all of our success. And this book is truly amazing because you can connect the dots. It's La Troisième Porte, the third door.
Yeah, okay.
And I think it's Alex Banayan, I think it's the name of the author, but you will double check.
Okay, I will love this book, and I hope my listeners will love it too. Thank you very much for your time.